And at this point in time, I'll turn it over to our College and Career Center directors, and we'll move forward.
Good morning. My name is Cheryl Martin. I'm the College and Career Center Coordinator at Jeffersonville High School. I'm going to go ahead and have our interns come up. And then I'll tell you a little bit about the program. If you are involved in the internship program, or if you have an intern at your business, thank you very much for supporting the program. It's probably one of my favorites because it's very beneficial to the students. We have the internship program is called Work-Based Learning. It's CTE, Career Technical Education, excuse me. They have a portfolio that they are required to do, and they receive credits for the program. We have a very good variety of students out there. We'll get to hear from 6 of them today, but just a few other ones that we have. We have a student from Jeff that's at Northside. He's interested in ministry.
Sorry. Big animals up there. We're going to get that taken care of right now. So, I just want to make sure that it'll be solved here in just a second. So, bear with us.
But anyway, so got a student out at Northside Christian Church who's interested in music production and ministry. For example, I've got a student at Southern Indiana Rehab. She's interested in pediatric physical therapy. Got a student that's with the mayor's office. She thought she was interested in planning and architecture, but when she went out with planning and development department, she decided she was not interested in that. She's now in finance, so she's, if they find out what they're not interested in before they waste a couple of years in college, that's very beneficial as well. Got an architecture student that's in our project Lead the Way Engineering. He's with the firm in New Albany. And so in our building administration here at Greater Clark, we support the mission as well. We've got 4 students here at the admin building that are doing internships. So I'll turn it over to Jeannie.
I'm Jeannie Dahl. I'm the College and Career Coordinator for Charleston High School and New Washington High School. We have students in locations as well. We have students at Amatrol. We have students at Derby Dinner Playhouse, Southern Indiana Rehab. Greater Clark also hosts students in our area. We've got some in our athletic office. We have some in our nursing office at our elementary, at Pleasant Ridge Elementary, at the high school, serving in some of the special ed classrooms. We have students at open-sided MRI, one Southern Indiana, and very recently we added a student at the YMCA of Southern Indiana. So a lot of varied activities for our students and finding out what they're interested in, what they're not interested in, and then gaining some of those valuable experiences as they build their portfolio for their career. They're looking at not only their resume and letters of recommendations, but also work samples that they're already beginning to establish. So without further ado, I think what we'll do is just have them go around along the side here. Aaron, if you don't mind, I'll have you start. They're going to introduce themselves. They're going to tell us where they're interning or co-oping, and then some of the experiences that they're having.
My name is Aaron Powell. I go to New Washington High School. I intern with my dad's family-run company, Louisville Granite and Stone. We do natural stone countertops and marble countertops. My career goal is to obtain a 2-year degree at Vincennes, and then come back to the company and try to run it and become the future CEO. Some of the skills I've gained through the company would be work ethics and more communication, talking with customers, and dealing with our stone distributors. And it has taught me to build new building blocks for my future and set a top peak for what I want to do in my career, and kind of just gave me a track to go on throughout my life. With it being my dad, it's been pretty easy to find out what I wanted to do, and I'd like to eventually get into the more business side of the company instead of the labor, like dealing with all the paperwork and more of the customer and customer related jobs towards the company. Just he's taught me, and through the company, and my dad has just taught me to work efficiently and be reliable to your customers and your business, and that hard work can be the key to success, and that's just what I've learned through him.
He didn't expect to go first, by the way. He just sort of was thrown out there.
Jake was supposed to go first. We already decided. He was voluntold. Okay, I guess I'll go. My name is Carly. I'm a senior at Charlestown High School. I internship with OpenSide MRI of Louisville. This experience has taught me a lot about myself and what I need to work on. For example, when I'm kind of a shy person, and I have to communicate a lot with the patients. So one of the soft skills that I've worked on a lot in the past year is communicating. And I've also learned how to problem solve. For example, we get patients that are scared to get their exams done, so I have to come up with a way to make them comfortable so they can get their exams finished and they can get all the way through. Some of the guidance that I've learned from my manager Rachel and my coworker Travis is that they went to a 2-year school, and they really recommended me to go to a 4-year school so I can get hired faster. I'll get paid more. So I've applied and been accepted to University of Southern Indiana, and after 2 years, I will apply to the radiology program. They only accept 16 students, but with this internship and this portfolio that me and Miss Knoll are building, it will give me a little more of a get ahead in front of all the other candidates for a spot in this program. I really love what I do. This experience taught me that this is what I want to wake up and do for the rest of my life. I enjoy my job. I enjoy going every single day. It's different patients every hour, so it's a new story. I love learning it's kind of a strange feeling because I'm sad that they're here, but I'm also happy to help them. It's on the road to recovery. Their stories are always fascinating to me. There's so many reasons why they come in, and I love going in every single day.
I guess I'm next. I'm Sarah Taskey. I go to Charleston High School. I intern at One Southern Indiana. One of my coworkers just walked in. I am in the events department under Josh Suter. Some of these names I recognize from emails and correspondence, so you probably maybe heard of our events. Right now I'm working on our Pearls of Wisdom event next week, and our One Awards event in late March. The biggest skills that I've learned is that in business, right now, I really don't know what I'm doing half the time. I mean, one of the first weeks of my internship, they said, write a press release. I was like, okay. I went back to my office and I Googled, what's a press release? I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. Last week I had to call 260 numbers to make sure that the number was right for a directory, and it was kind of like a weird experience because they would answer the phone and say, hey, this is City of Jeffersonville's office, and I would say, okay, I just want to double check that this is City of Jeffersonville's office. Is it? And they were like, yeah, I just said that. So that was a humbling experience. It's just things like that, things that you're not going to experience anywhere else unless you actually go out and do it. Like I said, I'm in the events department, so I get to go to events. The best skill that I've learned is how to talk to people, how to talk to adults. It's a different language than talking to teenagers, as I'm sure you can remember. And how to make those connections. When I get out of college, I'm going to need a job to pay for college. And I want to have as many connections as I can to make myself as marketable as possible for when I'm looking for a job. The best skill that I've learned or experience that I've learned from my boss is be flexible. If something goes wrong, figure out how to fix it and then tell your boss that it was wrong. And my boss isn't here, so he doesn't know that. But you just have to be flexible. I mean, the people at events don't know what's going wrong. You have to figure out how to fix it and then pretend like that's what you meant to do the whole entire time. So event planning is actually not what I want to go into. I want to go into communications. I haven't decided on my college yet, but I chose to do the internship, and I would choose to do it 100 times over because I wanted to get the experience. I wanted to see different people. I mean, I get to be in this room with people from all different sides of business, and I mean, I'm sure I get to talk to some of you, and you can give me as much advice as you can, and that's really all that I can ask for, to learn. So.
Hi, my name's Sierra Weiss. I go to Jeffersonville High School in the mornings before my internship. I am an intern at the courthouse in downtown Jeffersonville. Sometimes they fight over me, just a little bit. Some days we have judges come down to, I like to call it my home base. It's really just Circuit Court 4 with Judge Carmichael. That's where I really spend most of my time there. But occasionally we have judges come down like, well, can you come help me with this? We need some extra hands today. And I was like, yeah, sure. And my office, of course, jokingly says, no, you can't have her today. She's ours. And it always feels good to just feel like I am a person that they need to be around. And I enjoy being able to observe something that I have for a very long time known that I've wanted to be involved. I've been a very determined small child ever since I can remember, and so as soon as I learned my junior year that I could get out of the classroom and actually do something hands-on, I was excited. I was like, yes, this is my thing, actually going and doing something. I have always been a very good student. Don't get me wrong. I was not just trying to get out of the classroom. I was trying to get out of the classroom for a reason. I was trying to further my education outside of the classroom setting. My father's actually a teacher, so please don't tell him I said I wanted to get out of the classroom. My family has always had their hands somewhere in politics. Since a very young age, even elementary school, my father was taking me to school board meetings. I don't think this was the same room that I used to come to previous meetings, but he also was the president of the teachers union, and my mother ran for school board and all of that. And so I've just always been fascinated by how politics, law, and all of that works. And so I knew that at some point I wanted to be in some sort of role that had to do this. And I thought, well, I am pretty good at talking my way out of things, and so why not become a lawyer? And so I wanted to figure out which part of law I wanted to go into. There's so many different branches that you can go into. My court office, there's 4 different wonderful ladies that I work side by side with. There's Lori that takes care of all of our criminal cases. That's all of the adults that have committed some type of felony or misdemeanor or any of that. There's Kim. She takes care of our CHINS cases, which is our child in need of services. She also takes care of some of our guardianship cases that we have, which is a lot of our adoptions. It's always a happy day when there's an adoption case that goes through. And then we have Terry that takes care of our civil court. She deals with more of the divorces and businesses suing businesses or people suing people kind of thing, or vice versa with a person suing a business. And then there's also Adrian, who takes care of our juveniles, which is our baby criminals that we hopefully are not going to see in big criminal court. They do an excellent job of trying to keep them out of becoming one of the criminal cases. And I had a mindset going into this saying, I want to do family court. I want to be with all the kids and deal with all of that. Boy, was I wrong. I do not want to do that. It is heartbreaking to sit sometimes on Thursdays. Thursdays are our chins review days usually, and that is when we have all of our family case managers there. We have CASA, we have, I'm trying to think of what it's called. Basically we have a certain program where they represent the children's best interest, and that's usually what CASA does, but sometimes we have an outside program that comes in on very specific cases. And when the children are there in the courtroom, it's really hard. I have younger brothers, and some of them, I can see my younger brothers in those children that are in these situations. And so I've learned rather quickly, no, I do not want to be in tears every day going to work because it means too much to me. I'm too passionate about family court to go into that. So I've definitely looked more towards civil court. Don't want to do criminals, and I think I knew that going into this, but it definitely reassured that feeling of not wanting to be in the courtroom with criminals, because my first day there, they're like, yeah, just go sit in the bailiff box. That's just a tiny box where whenever we have jury trial, we have our bailiffs that are in charge of the jury to make sure they're not acting a fool, which they don't. But right across from me in the jury box were 12 criminals just sitting there shackled in their handcuffs. It was terrifying because I'm not joking, it was terrifying because they were all staring at me. It's not that they were staring at me specifically, it's because they were across the room from me and they had nowhere else to look. And I realized I don't want those people looking at me every day. It was an uncomfortable situation when they had to walk in front of me too. The only way to get in or out of the courtroom is by walking in front of the bailiff box. And so all 12 of them just kind of walked probably right about here in front of me, and they just came across and they all looked at me. They turned and looked at me, and I was just, and I leaned back and I was scared. It was an adrenaline rush stepping into the courtroom for the first time. I've definitely learned a lot from being around all of the attorneys and just getting to talk with some of the judges. Going in, I thought I was going to be studying pre-law out of high school. They told me not to. They told me not to study pre-law, but to choose one of these 3 majors. They want me to study either political science, economics, or business. They said you can minor in pre-law all you want, but don't get a major in pre-law if you hope to one day expand from just being a lawyer. Or if you decide halfway through college, like most people do, that you want to change your field of work that you want to go into. And so I have decided to study political science with a minor in business, either at IU Bloomington or in Virginia at James Madison University or University of Virginia. Some of the skills that I have learned from the attorneys is that you have to choose your words very wisely. One wrong word, one slip up in the courtroom can cause some major issues for your client that your client will not be happy about. And it can also cause some issues with the other attorney. If you slip up and use the wrong terminology, then they're going to be thinking that you want to make a motion for something completely different than you want to do. And that just lengthens the amount of time you spend in the court system anyways. But also you have to be careful the way you regard certain judges. There's definitely a level of respect that has to be held at all times, regardless if you're in the courtroom or not. It's a lot of communication skills that you have to be aware of. You can't just speak to another attorney the way you would speak to the judge. It's a lot of, Your Honor, may I, can I do this, may I approach the bench. It's not a, oh, here's the paper and just walk up to them. It's a lot of protocol that it's a certain amount of respect that you have to follow in the courtroom. And I think it's been a wonderful opportunity because I am now focused more towards economics and business and political science, all those classes, rather than taking more of psychology and sociology classes that would be required to do family court.
Hi, my name is Jake. I go to Jeffersonville High School, and I am currently an intern at Voice.net over in New Albany, Indiana. It's a technology company supporting Kentuckiana, and we also have some customers that are worldwide. I am a software engineer over there. That's what I'm considered. But also, I've had the wonderful opportunity of joining the marketing team, which is something that, as an entrepreneur, it's something that you need to know. Leaving, you need to know the marketing side of things. You need to know just about everything to run a company or run a business successfully. Over the last 4 months, I just recently completed a rebranding marketing campaign for Voice.net. Well, in the middle of this rebranding campaign, we merged with a much larger company out of Troy, Michigan. And this company came in and doubled our employees, and they are a company that is twice the size of us. So we just can't stop in the middle of a rebranding campaign. So we had to finish it out. And so all that hard work that we just put into is going to disappear within the next 6 months, which is sort of hard to deal with. But then I got a call the other day about doing a whole rebranding campaign for our parent company's data strategy, for the whole data strategy corporation. So now I'm on the team that is going to be able to rebrand this entire company. And we are in 5 states. We have offices in 5 states. Keep in mind, I'm just a software guy and a network guy. One of those nerdy guys that sits behind a computer for most of his day. And I've been able to have this wonderful opportunity to learn just about every single back office, every department in this business, along with dealing with a merger at the size of this. There's several points that I'd like to really push across. One of the biggest things that this has taught me is work ethic. There's days where the office will be slow, or nobody will be there, or very few people will be there. In the office, there's currently 70 people that work in the office that I'm in. And some of the days you'll go in and there'll be 20 people there, and the other days there's 70 people there. But you have a set amount of tasks that you need to do, and you need to get that job done before it can move on. So the biggest thing that has ever been pushed for me is no matter how long it takes you to get it done, you need to get it done. There's no lazy downtime in the line of work or in general. I've been taught that you need to get it done. The 2 other points are that I've learned really that I can take into life after my internship is communication skills and people skills and meeting with future clients and future customers. I'm on the marketing team now, or I'm part of the marketing team representing Voice and now representing data strategy. And I'm able to go out and shake hands with future customers. And being able to see those customers come back or email us or do something, that's a very, very awesome feeling. Being able to secure something along the road, whether it's for a $20,000 contract or it's a $1.5 million contract. I've been in both positions, and I've assisted in both positions. And the last topic that I can't stress enough is, yes, the communication skills and the people skills, but also you just have to, as I said with the work ethic, you just have to focus on getting your stuff done. You have to go in, and from the time you go in, I go in at 11 or 11:30 every day, and I work until the job is done, whether it's supporting customers. Some days they're very, very generous to me, and I get out at 2:30. Other days we might be having a problem somewhere, and we provide worldwide customer support for Brown-Forman. So over in China, we can have a problem or an issue with email systems, and we have to take care of that. So sometimes I don't get off until 6:30 or later. And it's just, I've been taught that you need to get the job done in order to keep and maintain that customer relationship. And those are my biggest points. I've had a wonderful opportunity, and there is nothing that would ever change me saying that. I am able to take all these skills that I've learned into any other field that I need to go into. I'm an entrepreneur, so I would love to continue to run, the company that I've already built, along with doing work for Boyce and working on pathways and certification pathways. One of the biggest things that Boyce does for its employees, and now the parent company Data Strategy, is it pays for its engineers to get certified. In the IT world, how we are paid is based on certifications. The guy that sits across from me every day, he has 20 plus certifications, and he is the highest of the high guys. He is the top level that you can find. He's one of 20,000 people in the country that are as high as him, and I sit across from him. So Boyce has given me the opportunity to put me on a pathway, a 3 or 4 year pathway, to get certain certification types, and they're going to pay for all of it. The pathway that I'm currently taking now is in the infrastructure route, which will allow me to go out, and everything's built on infrastructure, whether it's education, government, local business, everything runs off of an infrastructure. And so over the next 8 months, I will be on a pathway to learn all of this information. But then also I have to travel out to New York to go to a training day, and I have to take my final exam and pass it in Houston, Texas. So that's a little alarming, but I'm prepared to take on that challenge because Boyce is right behind me with it. So thank you.
My name's Caleb Bramer. I go to New Washington High School. I have 2 internships, actually. I internship at a business called Amatrol, where I am in the multimedia curriculum. I help they get software for they get computer programs that we want us to take and put into their computer programs and put it in their format so it looks the way they ship it back out to people. And I also have one at the school where I fix and repair the Chromebooks, and I'll do that. I have a period that I do that. If they come in with a broken screen, I'll fix the screen. If it needs internet reconnection, I'll reconnect it to the internet. Or if they need to be shipped out to get repaired, like something that I can't fix, I will file insurance claims and send them out to the repairs. And then when they come back, I'll give it back to the school, and they'll send it back to the student. My career goal is to have something in either manufacturing or to stay with computers. I didn't really know much about computers when I started my internships, so it was kind of like they're telling you all this stuff and you're like, yeah, you don't really know what they're telling you, but you're kind of just like, okay. And then you kind of like, all right, I think I know how to do this, so you're kind of learning while you're doing it yourself. So it's kind of like if you mess up, you're like, okay, I know not to do that now. So you're learning from actually doing it. So it's an adventure every day. And some of the things that I like specifically that I've done is I do what we just now started doing at Amatrol is I do voice files, and I have to listen to a voice file and put it into the slideshows so it says what the slide says, and that's kind of, it gets repetitive doing the same thing over and over again, making sure it says what it's supposed to say and all that stuff. But it's fun because it keeps you active and you're not just sitting there doing one thing after another. I've gained more knowledge about computer programs, that like how they work and how to alter them, and how to change them if they need to be changed, and if they don't, then just keep it how it is. And it's been fun because I didn't really know much when I started, but I feel like I've gained a bunch by just working through it with when I started from now. Helped me for after high school. I planned on going straight into the workforce and finding jobs in either staying in computers or like some type of manufacturing. And I feel this has helped me a whole lot because I've gained a bunch of knowledge before than when I started it, and it's helped me a lot.
Feel free to interrogate us. We've been here since 8:30. We've done a video. We've done just about
We've
everything.
been through it all.
All right, so I have a question for you all. Maybe one or two of you or 3 or 4 of you can answer. So you've got your plans. You all sound very talented, very smart. When you graduate from college or 2-year, 4-year, whatever, are you going to come back home?
Well, that all depends on where I attend school. Depending on if I attend Bloomington or if I go to any of the 2 or 3 schools that I'm looking at in Virginia, I will more than likely stay in Virginia, or I will go to Washington, D.C., because depending on which school I attend in Virginia, I already have an internship lined up there with a company called Politico. It's a political kind of newspaper magazine, and so that would definitely be something that I would stay there for, and from there I would branch out into more of my politics and law, because I plan on studying political science and then going to law school to become a lawyer.
In my line of work, as I'm coming back, as everyone in this room can see, the level of development, I've been here for 4 years. I moved here my freshman year, and I have seen new buildings pop up just about every single day, it seems like, whether it's the new Amazon plant that popped up out of nowhere, and now is, all of the packages come through there every day. I'm definitely coming back to start something here locally, to work with companies locally.
For me, as you can see, like most companies are starting their 5-year economic development plan right now. And luckily enough, by the time I get out of college, I will be on the end of that plan. And so I'll be more likely to get a job here. I think that the opportunities that are coming here aren't going to be offered in a lot of other areas of the country, and it helps that my family's here. I grew up here. I believe in greater Clark County, but mostly Charlestown. I believe in the growth that it'll have, and I want to be part of that.
Oh, it's my turn? Well, for me, it basically depends on where I can get hired. Open-sided, they asked me if I can go through speed school so I can get hired now, but I might stay here. I might go back to Wisconsin and work at Freighter, where my family's at. But I don't know where I'm going to end up in 5 years. I know I'm going to have a job, I just don't know where yet.
After I get back from college, I will come back to Louisville and keep the business going, and the business.
I planned on staying here because if I keep the internship at Amateur, they said that if after it's finished, they might hire you full-time after that, which they'll probably more than likely will, because there's just a certain amount of group with us, and there's all these manufacturing businesses coming around here, and it's good to stay if that's what you're going for when there's a bunch of them just popping up left and right.
Any other questions?
Come on, challenge us a little
We
bit.
were just that good? You don't have any questions for us?
I'm ready.
You can even ask us
You
back
can
here.
see how these are great ambassadors.
Left us speechless. We're good.
Andy, give it up. Give it up. This is your son.
He doesn't count. He's no.
I'm not. That was not supposed to be told.
I'm
But
sorry. Yeah.
All these individuals, we're just so proud of them. And the commitments that they're making, they're benefiting our community through their internship experiences. You can hear that the wide range of experience moving down the road. So many of them are recognizing and realizing the opportunities that are right here in our own backyard for employment down the road. And so our goal eventually would be that every one of our students before they graduate could go through this type of experience. And I can't think of a better way to sell this program to our community and to our own staff in this school corporation than with these individuals. So I don't know if you had anything else you wanted. I just don't in front. So would you help me and give them a great round of applause?